The Sony A7C is the best camera I've ever time traveled back in time to see its creation of in 2012. And I love it. I love the 2012 technology in here. It's one of the best cameras of that era, when they were jiggerbug dancing on the streets. Ice cream parlors everywhere, and people wore just neck to toe dresses, even the men. This is the best camera of that time. There's almost nothing I don't love about it. There's a couple nitpicks that I found. I found them, trust me. You knew I had the hawk eye. So we'll talk about them. Is it worth it? Are these nitpicks worth you not getting it? Or is it just the best YouTuber's camera? We might be close.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we're on the Sony A7C with the 20mm 1.8. Thank you, Camera Canada, for lending me the camera. And thank you, Flat Earth Santa, for sending me the lens and 1,500 other lenses. They surround me. You better have autofocused on that. Oh, I broke each one. I've also taken it into my own hands to expose the video today. Back to my roots, looking for 95% zebras and then backing it down a notch. So we're at 1.8, 1/50th to correct the 24p and 1000 ISO, but it's still clean as a whistle. Something's flashing. Plus 0.2 metering. What? Oh God, there's zebras on. What have I done? So my first nitpick, and there's several levels of this nitpick. It's that catalyst browse. You're not gonna believe that thing. It's the most fantastic stabilization. It could revolutionize our lives. You could totally make a camera now with no IBIS in it and just use that, and it's better than any gimbal I've ever seen. But it takes way too long to do, and sometimes it malfunctions. That's fun. Oh, I love the malfunctions. I went to this protest. I just posted the video on my main channel, and I was thinking, like, I have all these cameras, what should I bring? I brought this thing. I was like, you know what? Flippy screen, stabilization. We're gonna do the catalyst browse. That was a fatal error on my part, because rendering a 5-minute clip takes me over an hour. That's terrible. And this video was like 2 hours of footage. I was like, what was I thinking? And I turned the stab off and I was like, oh, I'm a moron. I tried the first clip and I was like, and then that clip failed. It just said at the end. It took the whole hour and 15 minutes and then it failed. I was like, oh, render error, sorry. Why'd you wait to the last minute? And it was over and there was nothing I could do. And I was like, forget that. We're just stabilizing in DaVinci. It worked okay. It wasn't good, but it was watchable. I didn't see the video and was like, oh my God, it's so shaky. I wasn't disappointed in myself. DaVinci Stab doesn't take that long. I hate having to do it, but it can bail you out of a jam when you're a moron. This guy. So the fact that it takes so long to do, and I put optimize render, I don't even know what I clicked, but it was like focus on render speed or quality. I picked the speed and it just didn't care. It still took forever. That thing needs to be in camera somehow. Just if you can bring that and just do it automatically in here as a digital stab, gyro data, I don't know how you would do it. It's impossible, but that's what we need. Nobody's spending time, not YouTube vlogger scrubs. The other fun thing, it completely changes your colors. It's a bunch of bullshit. If you're an HLG, it changes it to some stupid HLG. The first time I did it, I rendered it, it took forever, and then it was Rec 709 after, but it was completely overexposed and you couldn't bring back the highlights. It was completely ruined. I was like, what the hell happened? And I rendered like 3 clips before even checking them, and I was like, oh my God, that took so long. And I couldn't even use the files. I was like, why? So then I changed it to HLG, but then it gives me that hella green mode, the stupid HLG. This is HLG. You could almost do straight out of camera. Here's no grade at all. This is what it looks like. And I'm just like, do we need a bit more saturation or less or contrast? Like I just tweak minor things here. It's pretty much good out of camera. But what the hell happens? Why? Why do you change it? I filmed in S-Log 2 And then that seemed to change to S-Log2 fine, and then I could grade it. And I know my man, Everything Man, I saw his video on it, and he said you could switch it to Rec 709 from S-Log2, and it was perfect. I was so confused watching his video because he had all these like exposure tweaks and color settings. I was like, where are those? I don't even have those settings. How did you lower the exposure? Help us, help. So to summarize the Catalyst Browse experience, it takes forever, it changes your colors, and it sometimes fails. And if you're fed up with that, you had to turn the IBIS off. You have no backup plan now. That really sucks. That hurts, because I filmed that whole protest with no stabe and realized that Catalyst was undoable. And so thankfully DaVinci salvaged it a bit, but that hurts. So bottom line here, the stabilization's a pain in the bitch. And if you do use in-body, it's not very good. It's Sony IBIS on a lower level. That hurts. My family. And last thing to wrap up the whole Catalyst Browse experience, you can't use a third-party lens like a manual focus Laowa. This might be one of the best lenses ever made. A Tony 2, 15mm, super wide. It's like, oh, it's a little heavy. It's a little heavy. But like, there it is. And then the camera doesn't recognize it somehow. Why? There's no stabe in the lens. You don't need the stabe information. The gyroscopic data's in the machine. Why do you need this to talk to it? I hate you. Makes sense, actually. The focal length. Everything's based on the focal length and the communication with each part. Why don't you talk to us, China? Why don't you talk? So there's a whole bunch of lenses like this that you might want. You can't stabilize it. Not that you'd want to. Anyway, moving along. And here's something that's just stupid. If your screen is filled out, it's flipped out. If your flippy screen is facing you, you turn on the camera, the thing is mirrored weird. You move this way and then you move that way in the screen and it's opposite land, you can't do anything. If you ever want to point to something in the background, like you can see, oh, look at that. Oh, the border of that mirror. Oh, that's a fantastic thing. Oh, wow. Try doing that in a mirror where you're like, oh no, it's the up. Oh, what? Oh, demons. It just doesn't flip automatically for some reason. So you have to move the screen back like halfway and then back again and then it will flip. And then it works. It's so stupid. Or you tilt it up. And when you do tilt it, my God, does it ever do that fast? It's a 1 degree tilt and then it's upside down. Why? That should wait at least 45 degrees. Now we're back. It's just a minor weird thing. I've never seen that on any flippy screen ever, where you're out and you're not mirrored, and there's no setting in there to change it that I saw. Don't quote me on that. But the fact that I have to move it back, that's bullshit. That takes me at least, let's time it. It's a lot of time. This next nitpick is me being slightly unreasonable. Not that I ever have in the past. The SD card slot is on the other side where no camera ever has it, ever. That's the thing about having a bunch of different camera systems. It's like some flip back, some is like the Fuji is a little twinge out. The Panasonic's a rough. I hate the Panasonic G9 one. That's the worst, I think. Is that the one? Yeah, it is. The Olympus, Canon's the best in this area. I will say that. I like the move back. And putting the slots in, the cards in, it's all flat. It's on the Sony, you gotta like angle your finger just right to get it in there. There's a bunch of crevices, but everyone and their grandmother's used to the SD card slot being over here on every Sony camera, on every camera. It's always there. And now it's on the other side. You're gonna waste at least 2 seconds. It's not on that side. 2 seconds with the flip screen, 2 more seconds. That's 15 seconds already. And the door, it's weird. It's a flip switch open, but then when you close it, it's not an automatic shut. It's not automatic. You gotta push it. This is the only area that Canon leads the industry in. Doors that shut automatically. Their battery door does, and the SD card slot. You just push it back in there. It's awkward. Especially if the screen was flipped out. God forbid you try that at the same time. Good luck. Good luck to you in the winter. It's minor little decisions like that that just irk you. They don't really matter, but it's every time you use your camera, you have to do a little flip. That Sony A7S III dial with the finger twitch. But honestly, it's a fantastic camera. Yes, it has 8 loser bits. I don't even care. Like, what does it matter? I don't see a difference. None of my 10-bit footage looks better than this. In every single way, I choose this camera. Even for vlogs, I think I would. The Stabe. It's kind of natural looking. It's a little shaky, but it's a natural shake. It's not good. It's not good. If they would have just put that digital crop in that allowed the sensor to move more freely, I would have bought this. It's a fantastic camera. I like it more than the A7 III. Where is it? It's up here. I got that little U-rig hack. It's better than the cam mirror in a lot of ways, if I'm being honest with you. But it's worse. It's worse quality. The mirror is like one of those dollar store mirrors. You can barely see any details, but it's so much lighter and more compact. The cam mirror, that thing's a freak. Like, that's a nifty little design. This extends out, but the mirror is so much better, and you can see the full thing no matter what. This, some parts are hidden. You gotta look up, oh, am I recording? No, I don't. You're wiggling around like an octopus. I don't mind it. It's pretty good. This thing's like 3 times the weight as well. So this is the superior option for vlogging, but if you're just in the studio, I would recommend the cam mirror. Look at you. Look at yourself, Sony. Oh God, you're self-aware. Oh God, show it. For those who say I never show the camera, take that. I'm showing it. There's the Fuji in the background with the secret lens on it. What's the lens gonna be? Will he ever review it? I just really like the Sony system. It seems to be the best lenses for my situations. That Zeiss, why did I buy that thing? It's so glorious. I better use it one day. But now that I have that Tamron 10 to 180, 10 to 180, I have it. You can't say I don't. 70 to 180 for the B-roll. The 28 to 75, I haven't really tested that much, but it's a fantastic system. Not a lot wrong with it. There's almost no reason to get this A7 III over the C, the dual card slots. Like, who's ever gonna do that for YouTube? I imagine it's gonna happen one day and I'll lose a video, but I've been making videos since 2013, almost daily videos. 7 years of daily videos. I've lost 1 video. One time I made 3 videos back to back to back, and that third one got corrupted for some reason in the Panasonic G85 loser system of life. And I was like, ah, shit, that was a good video. Oh well. And I just immediately remade it. It was even better. I just wish the stabilization was better. It's not very good, and people noticed it. I switched to the Panasonic G9, and I was like, oh, watch the wavy, warpy corners. You're not gonna believe it. It was like way better than the Sony was, but that was saying the Sony A7S III was better than the G9, because that fixed all the issues with the digital crop. And I was using the A7 III as an example, which wasn't. It's a poor example. So if they just had that crop, does that take a lot of processing power? 1.1 times crop? Probably does, too much. And that's why they didn't do it. So it's a good camera, it's just a little boring. 8-bit, old codecs, 4K, 24p. The 30p has a little crop. It's just kind of boring, but the autofocus works. Eye focus on me. It's fantastic, just bad stabilization, but we always knew that. You could get away vlogging with this if you're careful, but if you're just gonna walk like a normal person, forget that, the Stabe's off. So let me know if Sony has won your hearts with its autofocus prowess. Never losing you ever, even if you leave the corner village that you were trying to abandon. Did it leave me? Oh, the iBox left me. That's bullshit, Sony. You're a whole bullshit company. You're still doing it. You're alright, Sony. I'm gonna leave. Thanks for buying it. Subscribe from over there. Say hi.